The next Jason Bourne movie is officially in the works, and there are some interesting updates that make me think this part will be a crossover. First off, it looks like the film may have just nailed the perfect title. The sixth movie in the action-packed $1.637 billion franchise, which also includes the Bourne Legacy with Jeremy Renner, is set to be called The Bourne Dilemma, according to a new listing on Production Weekly. The title fits right in with the others like The Bourne Identity, The Bourne Supremacy, and The Bourne Ultimatum. It might even be a playful nod to the dilemma the team faces while waiting to hear back from Matt Damon about returning. Along with the possible title, the listing reveals that director Edward Berger, who's become a hot name after his Oscar-winning All Quiet on the Western Front, is set to take charge of the next Bourne movie. This year, he directed the well-received thriller Conclave, starring Ralph Fiennes, which got great reviews after its premiere at the 51st Telluride Film Festival in August. There's also talk that Berger might direct the next James Bond movie, but it seems unlikely he'd take on both iconic action heroes. One would probably be enough. It's still unclear if Matt Damon will be back for the next Bourne film, but he's recently said he's open to the idea and would love to work with director Edward Berger. He mentioned, "There's a great director named Edward Berger. All Quiet on the Western Front is a fantastic film, and he's wonderful. He said he had an idea for Bourne, and I'd love to work with him. I'm as anxious as you are to see if it happens. Hopefully it's great and we can do it." He also added, "At a certain point, somebody is going to need to take it over. I'm not getting any younger." In an interview, Julia Stiles, who played Nikki Parsons in the original trilogy and had a close connection to Damon's amnesiac assassin, revealed that her character died in 2016's Jason Bourne. While she's largely ruled out the idea of returning for more, she hasn't completely dismissed the possibility of being involved if they ever decide to make a prequel. She said, "I've just had deja vu because I feel like I've been having this conversation for the past 20 years, and this was the conversation that happened before each previous version. I'm like, what? It would have to be some sort of prequel thingy, I don't know." Still, I'm pretty excited for this one because The Bourne Dilemma could make up for the letdown that was the 2016 sequel. The first Jason Bourne movie, The Bourne Identity, dropped in 2002 and introduced us to one of modern action cinema's most iconic characters. The story kicks off when a man with a bullet-ridden body is found, cared for by strangers, and wakes up with no memory. As he sets off on a journey to discover who he is, he starts uncovering the dark secrets of his past and his knack for kicking butt. The first sequel, The Bourne Supremacy, sees Bourne being falsely framed in a CIA operation, a big mistake, while the third film, The Bourne Ultimatum, follows him as he tracks down a CIA official while struggling to retain memories of his forgotten past. In between, there was an attempt to launch a spin-off with Jeremy Renner, but when that didn't take off, Damon returned as Bourne for 2016's Jason Bourne. Unfortunately, the sequel didn't live up to the legacy of the earlier films, leaving fans hoping that if The Bourne Dilemma happens, it'll bring back the action-packed thrills that made the first three movies so great. Now, let me talk about the puzzling update regarding the Jason Bourne sequel from the rumored director. Potential director Edward Berger recently told Cinema Daily that things surrounding the project are really not clear. He said, "Well, it's really not clear whether I'm not doing it right now. And I really don't know what I will do in the future. There's a bunch of options, and I have to bring out this movie, Conclave, to the theater quickly. I have to finish The Ballad of a Small Player, which takes me until next summer, so anything that goes beyond is kind of beyond my comprehension. But Bourne is a wonderful franchise, and if there ever were, but I don't have it, but if there ever were an element that hasn't been told yet, and a good reason to bring it back, and for me to have the feeling I can make the movie as good as Paul Greengrass did, because he did great films, and that is a very high hurdle to jump over, you know? Edward Berger is open to directing a Bourne sequel, but only if it's for the right reasons. While there's been plenty of talk, including from Matt Damon, suggesting that Bourne 6 is happening, things are still up in the air. To make it happen, Berger has said he'd be interested in taking the reins, but only if they can find the right reason to bring Bourne back. You really need a new agenda of bringing that back, otherwise there's really no reason. You can only bring it back if you have something new to tell, something new to add. That would probably also be Matt Damon's only reason to come back. He's not going to need money. He's not going to need to make this. If he can have an inner journey, if an actor finds that to play, then that's a wonderful challenge. And if you can't find it, then better not make a movie like that. That right reason could very well be a Matt Damon and Jeremy Renner crossover movie. I'd be honest. There have been no reports indicating that Jeremy Renner will appear, even though it feels like the perfect time for a Bourne and Cross crossover. It's been 7 years since Jason Bourne premiered, and one of the best ways to build hype for the 6th film is to get Renner to return as Aaron Cross. While Damon's return is exciting on its own and a major draw, many fans have been eager to see a Bourne and Cross team-up for a long time. Renner's appearance would really push the sequel over the edge. Plus, both Damon and Renner are more than capable of playing their iconic roles, though maybe with a few more stunt doubles this time. A Jason Bourne and Aaron Cross team-up is the perfect chance for the franchise to go bigger. After 5 movies and a significant time gap between the 5th and 6th, it's easy for a film series to start feeling repetitive and stale. To freshen things up, the producers of Jason Bourne 6 could and should reinvigorate the series by finally bringing Bourne and Cross together on the big screen. And it's not just a pipe dream. Jeremy Renner recently shared details about a pitch for Bourne 5 that included a Matt Damon team-up. In a recent interview with Josh Horowitz on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, Jeremy Renner reflected on the unmade Bourne Legacy sequel. He shared that after Damon and Greengrass decided to return, he was interested in merging Bourne and Cross's stories. However, that idea obviously didn't come to fruition. Renner revealed how far he and director Justin Lin got into development for the sequel when asked about it. He said, "We were getting pretty far, to the point where all of a sudden Greengrass and Damon put one together, and that got, let's work together, because we wanted to pivot and try to get both parallel universes together. That was my idea, was to get us together. Pit us against each other, and then we realize, what are we doing? You and I together can go smash all of them. Then you got Bourne and Cross together, you know. That's a good duo. That would have been pretty badass." That sure sounds like a thrilling direction for Jason Bourne 6. A Bourne and Cross team-up could be the perfect way to revive the franchise and bring something fresh to the table. So what do you think? Would you love to see Matt Damon and Jeremy Renner's characters join forces in the next movie? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more exciting updates on this and other upcoming films. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.